What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, your DIY guy. If you're new here, thanks for joining in on the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of this exciting content. Today we're building this awesome pathway over here, complete with cobblestones, patio pavers, and this beautiful off-white pebble. Stay tuned. Coming up next on Nail and Screw. So this is the area where we're going to be installing our hardscaping, and you can see the original patio pavers are worse for wear and the homeowner wanted to freshen things up a bit. You can see they are worn out and cracked in some places, as well as sunken down with the surrounding grass just overtaking them. And that's for a couple of reasons, because the base has not been done correctly, which we're going to show you the correct way in which we establish our grade and our base. Here we're just laying out the overall layout with a string line, and it goes from this area down into the corner at the bottom. This is our starting point, and the homeowner was very specific. He wanted to ensure that our patio pavers were perpendicular to this line. So this was a pretty important line, making sure we end up in this corner, and that's where we'll stop and turn things. And then after we got direction of our straight line, we started removing some of the sod. But in order to move the line across to the other side, we made sure that we obtain a perpendicular line, and you can see that's why we've got that set square over there. And we pulled it out to about 1.2 meters in length, and that will accommodate for our cobblestone border on each side, and then our patio pavers in the middle, with our pebblestones in the surrounding areas to fill the gap. And so once we've established the overall guideline for the pathway, you can see it's much wider than what we had there previously. We can go ahead and start removing this sod. And the homeowner wanted to repurpose the sod, so we tried to take out the grass carefully. And in fact, we needed to go down by about 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters to accommodate for our concrete foundation, as well as the thickness of each of our cobblestones and our patio pavers, which were both 50 millimeters or about 5 centimeters. So pretty chunky, but keep that in mind when you're doing your project as well. Now over here we are establishing our level and grade. As you can see, we've got the spirit level out, and this is level at the moment. And this is important because if it is sloped from one side to the other, you'll be walking like a drunken sailor down the pathway. So it's important to establish your level height at this point. And keep in mind, from the top of the string line downwards, you need a 10 centimeter gap to accommodate your concrete base and then of course your hardscaping. Now, speaking of concrete, we are going down with our concrete foundation for our cobblestone border. We're just using that metal fence on the side to house the concrete so that it doesn't spill out and make a complete mess while we are laying it down. And this is good because when the homeowner arrives, they can see that everything's in order and it looks pretty neat and tidy, because construction can get a bit messy. So keep that in mind on your project as well, just to help you out. Now here's a quick pro tip. When you are installing a concrete foundation and it's a pretty hot summer day as we have here, you can go ahead and pre-soak the area or just make it slightly damp so that the concrete doesn't flash dry. Very important, and that's why sometimes you want to make your mortar mixture a bit more runnier so that it has enough moisture that doesn't get wicked out and flash dry. If doing one of these home improvement projects gets you down because of the cost these days, what if I told you you could earn up to $850 a week by simply watching Netflix, which you already do? Or what about trying out that new Snapchat filter and also earning up to $800 a week? Well, if that sounds too tiring, why not pop on your headphones and listen to Spotify and get paid $20 an hour? Yep, that is possible by this episode's sponsor, which is writeappreviews.com. Go and check out all the links down in the description box. Go tell them we sent you, and let's get back into the video so we can get on with this project. Here's a good view of some of the hardscaping we've got going on. We've got these off-white pebble stones, which are beautiful, as well as these charcoal cobblestone pavers, and that's what we are going to install right now. So you can see our concrete foundation has cured up quite nicely underneath. You can see it's slightly wider than the cobblestone itself. So we're just pressing it down along that string line where we established earlier, and using a finger spacing in between just to have a consistent, even spacing, which will allow our mortar to be filled in a bit later on and have a consistent look running down the pathway. And as you can see, this is a long stretch, almost 7 meters in length, so it's pretty much rinse and repeat. But when we get to the corners, we actually had to be a bit creative because it is not a perpendicular turn at that point, and so we had to grind a few tries. I think this is probably the first one, but we had to do a couple of attempts just to get the angles correct to turn it diagonally across, as you can see over here. So it wasn't perpendicular, and we had to, cut it slightly shorter just to turn that angle, but I think it finished off that corner quite nicely. And then we could continue on the other side back down and, just rinse and repeat, keeping the spacing even and consistent all the way down. Now over here, I'm taking that metal straight edge that we used earlier for the concrete foundation and just laying it across the top of the cobblestones and giving it a light tap just to provide some added reassurance that we do have a level line running from the top to the bottom. And that is good practice, especially when the mortar is about to set up, because it's a permanent fixture. You want to make sure that you are dialed in before it goes off for good. And this just helps. And you can see there's very few, if any, gaps at the bottom. Well, that's going to be a wrap for the first part of this exciting landscaping series. If you found a ton of value, go and add a comment down below and tell us what you enjoyed, and we'll definitely get back to you. And of course, make sure you're subscribed because it helps us grow this channel tremendously. Give it a thumbs up to tell YouTube that you enjoyed it so they can share it to a wider audience. And of course, go and follow us on Instagram, where you'll get VIP upfront and behind the scenes footage first for all of our VIP followers. But until next time, we'll see you on Nail and Screw.